Hi, this is George Laszlo from the Viola Road. I'm today with J&J Auto and Tony the mechanic over here in Hamlet, Pennsylvania. And the reason we're here is because we need to test out the GPS unit that's going to let you see exactly where we are anytime in the United States as we do this cross-country trip. So it can go inside the car, right? And we just have to go through the fuse box?
Yeah, we're going to go through the fuse box.
Okay. So it doesn't need to go to the battery directly?
No, we're not permanently installing it in the Audi. It's just merely a guinea pig.
Yeah, which I forgot to say that we're putting it into the Audi just to test it because it's actually going to go in the checker ultimately, but we want to make sure it's working before we actually get our hands on the checker, which isn't going to be until July. So, cool. All right, let's do it. So this is our test car, the 2000 Audi A6, and we're going to be doing most of the work at the fuse box, which happens to be on the left side of the dash right here. And as you can see, there are the fuses, and we just need to figure out where the ones are for the ignition and the main power. So the 15 amp is the ignition on the bottom there that you just plugged in, I think.
The 15?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the constant. The other one's the switch.
Okay. Yeah, so can you just describe what the hookup is here?
Well, you have your constant power and you have your remote, your switched power.
Okay.
So we tapped into two different fuses. One's constant and one's remote. And now, then we got the ground hooked up, and then we got everything laid out.
Well, explain constant and remote. I'm not sure I...
Okay, one is constant power. It's always got 12 volts.
Okay.
The other one would be switched power, which when you turn the key on will power up.
Okay, so the switch power is in that lower one, in that 15 amp fuse down there?
Yeah.
And
this one's the constant,
okay, and the constant one is up there from the windshield wiper.
Yeah.
So in case that goes,
and
we're in good shape.
Well, that's the thing. We use the cigarette lighter as a constant power because if the fuse blows for the cigarette lighter, it isn't a big deal. And the wiper one, if that was to blow out, the only thing that would happen is your fuses or your wipers wouldn't work.
Ah, okay. This is the GPS unit itself, and we need to hide that, right? So that's just going to go right under the dash, right?
Yeah, we have a little cubby hole. We're just going to stuff it in for right now.
Cool. And then those wires are into the antenna,
which is just going to get folded up and set on the dash for the time being because this is only temporary to make sure everything works
right.
like we want it to.
Yeah, so that needs a clear line of sight to the sky there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So that the GPS signal can go up and down from the satellite.
Modern conveniences. Uncle Sam knows where we are.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's our temporary setup, and you can see from the lights that are blinking that power is going to the unit, and the number of blinks actually makes a difference. That's whether the car is on or off, or the GPS signals are coming through or not. So, now that the GPS unit is installed, we need to test it out. So I'm driving around a little bit here in this nice neighborhood, and every 30 seconds or so, I expect that the GPS signal will be picked up back at TSO Mobile's headquarters in Florida, and it will be written to a database on their server. So it should be recording when we're moving, when the car is in idle, when the engine is on, when the engine is off, and of course, most importantly, it's going to pick up the coordinates of every location where we happen to be at any given time. That way, you'll be able to follow us as we go along on our trip across the United States. We are now at the TSO Mobile website, and this is a typical trip that you are looking at that has been recorded. Notice that here on Route 507, the direction of travel is roughly southwest, so we can click on that particular node, as with any other node on the map, and you will see certain information like where we are, how fast the car is moving, which direction we're going, and that the car in fact is moving at the moment, and the date and timestamp for this particular event. If we go further down the street here, you'll notice that there is a stop at this particular location, which happens to be the US Post Office, probably to buy some stamps. And then going further, another stop nearby, this one most likely at a grocery store. Now, if you wanted to mark where this is and what it is, notice that there's a Create Landmark link here. You can use Google functionalities to describe exactly what that location is. Then this blue circle shows that the travel started up again after the visit to the grocery store and that we're now heading north at 9 miles per hour. And then these other arrows essentially tell you the rest of the trip. This was a short one, and eventually you could see that the trip was in a reverse direction as well. So in this particular case, 20 miles per hour at going east and driving. And that's essentially the gist of it. All of this data is being recorded in the database so it can be analyzed later, and the entire trip from coast to coast will be recorded in this manner so we can go back historically and see where we've been and what we have done. So this is George Laszlo for the Viral Road. Until next time, thank you.